Hello, good evening here in Pakistan, and I hope so. There would be good morning there towards Simon.
Yeah,
I'm Rizwan Akram here in Rizwan Akram classroom. As you know that in classroom every day there is a student and there is a teacher. Student remains the same, that is Rizwan Akram, but the teachers are my guests, and every day I learn from them, and I love learning. So today we have a very special guest, Simon, and Simon is doing immensely a beautiful work that is needed to be done by the state, but he's doing individually. Simon, welcome to classroom, and please let the people know about yourself first and then your work.
thank you, Rizwan. Thank you for having me here. I'm Simone de Wijn. It's a Dutch name, and I'm living in Europe. And I am a community builder and a sense maker. And I can see myself also as a conscious leader. I really have strong connections in the COVID with people from India and Pakistan. I really understand that they have also their own sense making and consciousness in their religion. So I like to talk with them. That is first. And I have a strong mission, and my mission for our project, the game building game or the MiWi project, it's about an inclusion society. So for us as human, I think we have to think about more inclusiveness in the society, and not only think but also working on that. So I'm teaching people to be more inner why, to be more conscious, and to be more developing, we call it community values. So we do that in an interactive way. So I developed with my partner, he's a designer, and he developed the MiWi game. And I'm a trainer and coach, and I working with conscious leaders and also business people for working on their community values. For us as people, it's important that we are more self-organized. So for the first team in Pakistan and in Asia, I developed a group. There are people from Asia, from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and we want to address the clothing industry. So, for example, we have a lot of clothing in the world, and it is not good for the environment. And people who make these clothes in India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, the most of the clothing industry is from that area. And I want to change that. That is my mission. I want to change the clothing industry. So, for example, if people are more self-organized and people have their own currency, they can make their own community more stronger from within. So I want to understand, the conscious leaders have to understand that we can build more strong leadership and communities. So that is my mission.
Simon, uh, I can't understand that what you want to do for clothing. If I don't setting it wrong, uh, poor people in the world is live in South Asian regions. They have hardly any currency for feeding themselves. So what about the clothing? They just wear to cover their body, not for something like that is environment protection or something like that. They are just thinking about to cover their body to feed themselves. So how it can be done?
Yeah, that's the good question you ask. So how can it be done? Because we have here a wicked problem. We call it in our program. It is a big program. It's a program for a year at last, because we have to see that we have a lot of wicked problems in the world. So one of the wicked problems is the clothing industry. For example, we must have clothing for our body, but we in the West we buy a lot of clothing from the poor countries. So what the biggest problems is, I have a good article about it. In the COVID, people from the big organization like Zara, for example, stop to buy the clothing from the poor people because they say, "Yeah, we don't need it now." So the people are get really poor, and they are already poor. So my goal is to have more balance in the poor and the rich people, to have more balance in it. So we have to address the wicked problem. Then we can talk to the people from the community. So I've talked with the people from India, Pakistan, some people, and like people like you. And then we have to learn from this team, how can we address this problem and how can we learn about this problem. So my program, the Me We project, is more a program. How can we learn to address this wicked problem and make more better long-term goals? For example, if for poor people in India, a family, and the mother and the father work in the clothing factory, and in the COVID, they don't have money. They had already $2 or $1 a month, $1 a day, but now they stopped buying the clothing. And for me, it's important to talk with maybe the industry there and to the government, so we can talk how it would be better for these people to have more, not only more money, but also have more community. They have the community to work with. And if you understand the whole workshop and the whole training, it's about a year that we talk about, because we do it also in 5 or 6 years. We build this community and the game. And I also have an interesting thing. We work also with the seeds currency. Did you know that, Rizwan? Did you hear from it?
Uh, yeah, actually, I have interviewed a lady, Carly, uh,
Carly, yeah.
and she is something. Uh, so she has invited me to join the group that were related to seeds, but I'm a little poor with digital currency,
I
so I
understand that.
couldn't get it. But I'm in connection with her.
Oh, great! Because I'm an ambassador of the group. I'm still a baby in the group. I'm learning a lot because sometimes I feel, okay, what is this group? What is about? But it's really interesting for communities, especially for communities who are poor. But I think for the whole world, we have to more think and live within regenerative world. So that is my belief, that we build on more strength in their own community.
Uh, Simone, I want to know about the short-term goals. Like you are telling about the long-term project, but people are now facing the poverty, even below the poverty line. They are facing the hunger now. What is the short-term
Hunger.
measures that you want to
Oh,
adopt? Hunger, like people are suffering from hunger due to COVID. So, what do you
yeah.
think the short-term goals and achievements or measurements?
So I think I have a connection with a guy from Kenya, and he was telling me that he has a problem with the water. People don't have water enough. It's a whole world problem. So if we have better water management, we can learn from the architect who got this management, and we have to speak with people about their responsibility to understand and help each other. So, for example, the guy from Kenya. who has a really big problem, and also a lot of people, the short goal is to understand the community where we can how can we build an regenerative. I don't understand the whole technological thing in the water process management, but if somebody is in the community, dus we have a big community like Seeds or like the MeWe project, if there's somebody who would really understand the water management, we can build it up from the ground with the seed, sort of the seed currency, because the seed currency is more democratic. So we can build it from the community. So everybody have a more or less the same money. So that is good about the seeds community if we build it from scratch. But I have to talk also about my own company. So the short goal has to be, how can we address in the short term who is responsible for the water management in that country, and how can we address that problem. But it's a really great question. And Rizwan, what do you think? Because I have to learn also from you. What is your opinion about this short-term goal, water and foods?
Uh, Simone, in the country where I'm living, most of the time we are an agriculture country. Uh, Hunger is not a big deal over here.
Okay,
Nowadays, people are suffering somehow with the, you can say, the issues about unemployment. They are losing their jobs because of COVID. Some of them are having a problem with their business as well because everything is shut down. As concerned with the hunger, according to me, we are supposed to be the most donation giving nation, something like that. We are most charitable nation. We charity for everyone. Even we don't give taxes, but we love to give taxes.
you're freeze now.
Charity. It's our trend. Hunger. Yes, Simone. Hopefully you are listening me. So I think the hunger is not an issue. Here is about poverty, and second is the attitude problem. Like people haven't learned so much skills that can remove them out of poverty. So within Pakistan, resources of the Pakistan, limit of the Pakistan, you have so much potential within this land, within these people. We have the most youngest nation in the world. Like it's about 60% of the youth of Pakistan are about 20 to 30. So it's the one of the biggest nation who have the utmost youth. So there is no issue with the manpower. There is no issue with resources. There is only issue with the attitude of learning and attitude of skills learning. I think it's my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh wow, great that you see that you talk about the youngsters. How many? 60% is in the age of
In the age between 20 to 30.
20 to 30. So I recognize that because I'm in this COVID. I have a lot of people from India, Pakistan who come to me and ask me about learning the skills from the community. So I think it's great, Rizwan, if we want to work together in this group about education, and we can see what the biggest goal and biggest skill is to learn. And yeah, so if you recognize it, my turn in my the poverty, I think it's my biggest goal to achieve with the people in it, because I speak, for example, with somebody who is 12 from Pakistan. She is so intelligent. She have already knows all the game things what we developed, where other people don't have to know. They are find it more complex, and she already sees what it is. And I was surprised that she sees all the kind of layers in the game. but she's already conscious. You are thinking, I think the people from India are so, I love that they are so conscious and so peaceful, and that we have to bring to the other world countries. Dus we have to work globally together.
No doubt. But the thing is that we need a single platform that can make us unite. We have to make a single point agenda, and, and that is a growth mindset. That is powered growth mindset and poverty elevation. If the people in subcontinent have the agenda of these two things, there would be no war, no poverty, no hunger, no such so-called terrorism.
And that's great, Rizwan. I think we have the more or less the same values. What is also interesting, we developed the Steward frame. It's a designing frame, and the Steward frame, it's about peace. It's about the Steward. It's about a peaceful balance, a sort of position what we have to address. So if we don't want to have war and poverty and kind of stuff, we have to address a condition about how we see life. So if we are more in balance about this condition, we can live in more in a peaceful way. So we need also empathic, I think, very empathic leaders in the world, like us, I think.
Simone, I don't consider myself as a leader because I'm a learner here. You might be a leader, and definitely people will gather around you and would love to listen you as you are speaking by your heart. But according to me, I think that we should take like-minded people first, and then the people will gather around them. Initially, we need the people who have same mentality, who have same mindset, who have same ideas and goals. Initially, they should be focused on a single point agenda, and at least these core members or committee or something, whatever you say, should be agree to a single point, and what it should be, it can be decided, but they all must be clear in every true and spirit with a single letter and word. They should be clear and focused.
Thank you, Rizwan, for your thoughts about your own education. And what I mean about leadership is more, maybe it's more ownership about the problems that we have addressed. So I feel that we have that connection. And I really love afterwards, love talking with you about our stewards frame. It's a more about what I say about balancing in the world. And I think a lot of people see that, but we live in the West, in a capitalistic world. And a lot of people nowadays are angry. I'm not angry, but they're frustrated about we have to transition to another I don't see you anymore, but we have a transition to another
Yeah, I am available.
to another system. But um, we have to be aware that we not only have in our minds that transition, but we have to do it right away. So then I decided to stop with my work and to stop more in my game playing and to be more a leader so we can move on, because I hate that we are so suffering a lot in the world. And now we see it also in the West. People are not poor, that, but there are a lot of problems with yeah, discrimination, and about also not enough work because of the transition of the robotizing. There are a lot of problems, and we have to choose one or two themes. So my first goal is poverty, and my second goal is the food and water problem, or it can be the same. And we also have an idea, and this the whole vision of our concept is diversity. So we have to embrace diversity, because I think people are the same. We have a different religion, but people are the same. So that's now you know more about me, I think.
Simone, you have spoken very nicely and you have presented the idea. Actually, your goals are clear. I don't know about any framework. Either you have any framework for achieving these goals, like there's step one, step two, step three, and then we can move on. Uh, I'm talking about the things that looks nice. You're talking about the things that look awesome. Everyone in the world are doing the same things. We are just talking. So, what is the execution? The issue is about the execution of your ideas. So, if you have the execution with the framework, then these ideas are superb and it can work. But initially, we have to make it first. What is the first step we are gonna take to eliminate poverty, to eliminate hunger, water issues, or all about?
Yeah. And if we eliminate poverty, and we work from within the community, and a community is a broad thing. A community is already if you have a relationship. A community is your family. A community is your neighborhood. A community is your work. So it's a broad example. So if we choosing to, for example, to work in a team, you have to choose the talents of your community. And I have studied that. I have a study and a workshop done by Emergenetics. It's an American program, and there are four types of people in the world. So the first thing, we have to choose the talents: the analytical talents, the conceptual talents, the structural talents, and the social talents. And then we have different kind of people in that community from within the talents. The second thing is we can gathering and clustering the knowledge of your community. And the third thing is we can creating the functionalities in your community by clustering knowledge. That's the third thing. I can write it down for you, Rizwan, but that is our workshop, what we want to address here. And what I want to talk about is the workshop community building. And the fourth thing is to transform and secure your community. You have your functionality in community values. So then you have your inclusive society where human perspectives, human preferences, and human values are within the concept. And we call it the concept of community. That is our first step to address, for example, poverty. We have to choose in the community what can the people do in their community, because if they are poor they have also have talents, different kind of talents. So we can address that in that community. Is it now more clear?
Simone, you have talked very nicely about building talent and about community development, clustering of knowledge. Uh, According to my thinking, that I have talked to you about the attitude problem. Uh, the persons who are talented, they might have their own fields to learn, and they might have another field to earn as well. Uh, the issue is with those people who have attitude problem. Like if people are talented already, we can cluster them in a certain way, but issue arise there when we don't have a single mindset of growth. People think that if someone is coming from west, He will give us some sort of amount, and then we will start some business, and after that we will pay it in installments and such sort of things. We have to tell them that either first you have to learn something, then you prove yourselves, and when you have proven it, you if you need finances, then it can be sought out. It's not be arranged, it can be sought out with your thinking as well. But initially, I think that we have to connect with the people, and exactly we need to address those people who are not aware of the Facebook, but they are below poverty line. The person who are having the cell phone with $500 to $600, he is not a poor person. The person who has amount of $100 per month, that is considered to be official minimum wages in Pakistan, and lot of people, about thousand, hundred thousands of people, who are even not paying these wages. So 100, if a person can't afford $100, how he can purchase this device that is called cell phone of about 600, $500? So we have to reach that person who don't have this Facebook, this WhatsApp.
Yes, a good example, Rizwan, and very clear that you very honest about your own community and what people are suffering from, and not be able to buy the very expensive cell phones. So I think there were two ways to address that. We have create an sort of program in the MeWe game. You can print it down. It's co-creative. It's for some people, so where you are talking about for free. So if somebody in the community has a computer and a printer, maybe it's also too expensive. But if you play with four people, you can address this problem. And for something, you have to have more or less funding. And that is why I love Seeds. Seeds is also, I'm a baby in Seeds, but if I working in there more or 3 months, I heard today if I work more on it, and I can have my own earning, because I have to learn. I learn also myself. It's more in gamification. So you are right. You are learning from our me reframe, and you said it well. You have to live. You have to prove it, and you have to sort it out. But if everybody, yeah, it's an interesting question, and I love to talk with you that today. If we have an inclusion society, everybody have had access to a computer or a cell phone. So maybe guys like you, the education guys, are very important in the community, because you have your computer and your cell phone, and maybe you, if the COVID is over, you can have your classrooms, and maybe the government see how important it is to have internet, so we can learn from it. So maybe the government can help, or really can help also the poor people in Pakistan. I hope that there are good guys and good people working in the government. So our program is also for policymakers. That is also one of the great thing we addressed 2 years ago. We play in Brussels with the European policymakers, and they love the complexity of the game, because if we build the new system or a new world, we have to learn a lot from the people who are in it, and from the different kind of backgrounds we have, and the different kind of preferences and we have, so we can learn in interaction from each other.
Simone, if we are talking about the states, states don't damn care about these things. Poors are always poor. They are only concerned poor only for the time of voting. I'm talking about the South Asian countries. All happens here. Poor have to eliminate poverty by his or herself, not by the government. No government can feed poor. If government can feed poor, they can only give the fish to poor. They will not tell how to catch the fish. We need the people to learn how to catch the fish. Every government is giving some donations, giving some aids to the poor, helping them to for 1 month, for 3 months during COVID or something like that. But what is eventually output of it? We are growing a nation of beggars. Everyone is staying at home and thinking that government will pay something for his daily expenses, so he don't need to go outside. If the person is hungry, the person is known as someone will not give him a single penny until and unless he hasn't done anything. It may be the smallest thing, even cleaning the cars or something like that. He will not be paid. Government has thousands and hundred thousand of the jobs that are vacant only for the reason that they are not they don't feel that the people are not suitable. But if we should consider these people who thought to be hungry, that everyone have to do something, even if you are talking about the clothing. Every woman at home should learn the stitching, and either he should stitch a one single dress in a day or in a week with his family all works. He would be paid a single dollar either it is. It would be add to her life instead of giving a one penny every day. I think that we should work about this factor, not looking about the states. State damn care here.
And you mean, Rizwan, not talking about funding because the state is already so corrupt. Sorry, I don't know if anybody heard it in Facebook, but I think you are right. And that's why I love seeds. Seeds, they develop regenerative seeds, also seeds for the ground. So if, for example, in the poor place they have seeds, they can access to it, have access to it, we can not helping to give them money, but we can help them to learn to be more self-organized and to learn be more not independent but more live from their own ground, because the ground is very beautiful. They can eat from the trees, and if we have the basic foods already, and you are were mentioned the girls are making their own clothes, why do we have so have money? So what we can learn, what we learn, we can learn it already today. We are not independent from I really agree with that. And so I'm combination of a concept of community with the community currency. I love that. If we all be in the future or be self-organized, so maybe that's the big goal we have to make in the world.
Simone, you have given beautiful words to the concept of seeds. I just want to know about that in Pakistan. Even states don't allow any digital currency. How it can be work here? I don't know about the Europe. Either it's workable or there or not. And in Pakistan, seeds or any digital currency is not allowed by the state. How it can work for our community? You are muted.
I just know that it in Pakistan isn't allowed the currency, the blockchain and the currency, but in South America it's already there. I'm working with some great guy tonight. I'll talk with him, somebody from South Africa, and it's a good question. It's why is that in Asia isn't allowed that? Okay, that is very important that you were mentioned that. So what we can do is we can also have. I have a big network. I have also a network where we can talk about a great guy. He's working in Costa Rica, and his name is Drew Brewer. Do you know him? Drew Brewer. You already know
No.
him? And he said to me, I think yesterday, no, we don't need seats. We do it within the own community without this special currency. So that is interesting. So we can build it from the ground up. So I want to talk with him about if the countries were not allowed for the currency. Maybe the project what Drew Brewer is brought in, it's interesting for you also, Rizwan, to talk about bioregional developing for a regenerative world. He already. I'm not an expert in that topic, but I'm very interested in that topic because I think people can be more living from their own ground. So I can mention that guy in your chat. Okay, Drew Barrer.
Uh,
Yeah.
sure. Please connect me to him, and definitely I will talk to him and let him ask about what is the actual working in community. So, Simone, I think that I would love to add in that group that you have already sent me the link. Would love to learn about your working and about all the activities you are doing. So,
Thank you, Rizwan. And this was a great conversation, and I'm learning very much from you. And we talk afterwards. Yes.
yeah, sure, I'm available. Thank you so much for your live discussion. It's nice talk to you. And
Okay.
Nadeem ji,
It
thank
was
you.
very nice.
Have a good
Thank you very
day.
much.